Peace, family. This is your brother, Mr. Holipsism. I'm here to review This Is the End. And This Is the End is a Seth Rogen comedy. And for those of you who know Seth Rogen, you've probably seen Pineapple Express, which was a very funny movie. You've probably seen The 40-Year-Old Virgin, very funny movie. You know, you've probably seen Superbad, another very funny movie. And I think that this movie is definitely in those movies' class in terms of execution, in terms of comedy, in terms of fun, instead of, in terms of having a good time. Um, so I know Seth Rogen has had some hits and misses. Some people loved the Green Hornet, some people hated his guts. Other movies that he's made, he made the movie with Barbara Streisand. He did the movie Knocked Up. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I thought it was good, but it was one of those on the fence movies. Um, so I believe that if you liked the best of Seth Rogen, then you're definitely gonna love This Is the End. And just a special shout out. One of my people that I used to know and well, used to know that I know, and I used to work with, I should say, um, is the guy. When you hear the theme song or the main song on the trailer, the rap song, that dude who's singing that rap song is my friend. His name is Karniege. Karniege, I believe. Karniege. And he's the guy who's doing the main title song for This Is the End. So when you hear that rap music going in the background, that's who's playing. So I just want to give him a shout out because when I found out it was him, I was like, oh shit, how'd you get that gig, son? But anyway, back to the movie. The main principals in this movie are James Franco, Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, Jay Baruchel, and Danny McBride and Craig Robinson. So those are your key players. Those are the guys who are stuck and trapped in the house, in James Franco's house, while the apocalypse is happening. And one thing that I found interesting about this movie is if you look at the cast and the people, the creative people behind this movie, the majority of them are Jewish. But when you see the movie, there's a lot of Christian mythology to it. Like this talk about the rapture and the apocalypse and Jesus and the devil and God and all of this, Armageddon and all of those, the images and the stuff that it invokes are all Christian, which I just found very strange. It's interesting. Didn't take away from the movie, but just interesting in light of the fact that the majority of the cast and the creators for this were Jewish. Just an aside. But what happens is Jay Baruchel comes from Canada, I believe, and him and Seth were friends in Canada. So he's coming to visit Seth, who's in California, and Seth, of course, is now a big time producer, movie star. He has these friends, James Franco, Jonah Hill, um, and Craig Robinson, and so basically, like that's sort of like the backstory is that he's coming in, and it's that seeing those guys trying to reconcile or so have their friendship survive in the midst of all this change. It's like Jay represents the friend that you've been hanging out with that wants things to be like they always was, like y'all just chilling, watching video games, blah 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 blah. And Seth represents that friend that's grown, that's had some success and has grown and still has love for his friend, but at the same time can't do the same things that they used to do. So it's that dynamic going on, and he's trying to bring Jay Baruchel into his circle of new friends, which is James Franco and Jonah Hill. And then of course there's some tension there because he doesn't really like them and blah 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 blah. So it's a lot of meta humor going on right there, where characters are playing versions of themselves that are either um, themselves on steroids or complete opposite of what they are in real life. Like take for instance the Michael Cera character in this movie, who was hilarious. He's playing like a cokehead and he's just a sexual deviant in the movie. you know, which totally goes against the typecast of what Michael Cera usually plays. This is the guy from Scott Pilgrim Saves the World versus the World and Super Bad and stuff like that. So the movie is funny. It's interesting the way that it's put together. It's not typical. And when I went there, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I wanted it to be funny, of course, because that's what you look for. But I didn't expect much thought in terms of the way that it was filmed and the filmmaking, which was actually quite good. The cinematography for this movie was very good. The lighting was good. The shot selection and the framing was great. The way that the story unfolded and the way that it was told was unique. Um, and it just delivered on all fronts. It's one of his best movies as a comedy. If you're into him, if you're into that style of comedy, like I said, if you like Pineapple Express, go see this. If you didn't like Pineapple Express, I wouldn't suggest you see this because if Pineapple Express is probably one of his best and probably the movie that's the quintessential Seth Rogen comedy. That and I would say Super Bad. If you didn't like those movies, don't go see this. That's all I can take. That means you just don't like his style. But I was very satisfied with this movie. Lots of cameo appearances that I thought were hysterical. Kevin Hart was in it. Aziz from 30 Minutes or Less was in it, and the way that they die is really hilarious. Um, Rihanna is in it. She has a scene with Michael Cera. Michael Cera smacks her on the ass, and then she slaps the dog shit out of him. And what made that scene so funny is when I found out about it, the slap wasn't fake. Like when they did the scene, Michael Cera said, "Yo, give it to me, slap me," and she slapped the dog shit out of him. And so, when you see it on film, that's an actual slap. So I just thought that was funny. And each guy who plays a character, like Danny McBride, plays the asshole, and Danny McBride always plays the asshole in all of Seth Rogen's movies because he does it so well. And I heard that it's totally against the type of dude that he is, but he plays it so good that that's what they always have him doing. And there was one cameo appearance in this movie that was really shocking to me. Funny, it was damn funny, but it was shocking, and it was so over the top and so crazy that it really literally made me like respect the dude that did it because I said, "Yo, son, I'm surprised that you will still have a movie career after this scene that you did." That I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you'll know what I'm talking about when the scene comes, and it comes towards the end of the movie. But wow, that's all I'll say to that. That was pretty wild, and for this type of guy to do that type of scene goes completely against the type of characters that they usually have him playing in other movies. So I'm just shocked that he went there. He really went there. And so check that out when you go and see it. Anyway, basically 2 thumbs up or 1 thumbs up since I'm one person. Go see it. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was funny. I know that majority of the people that listen to me are African centered, so you might have a problem with that Christian mythos thing going on. But it's a fucking comedy, whatever. I don't believe in Christianity or any of that crap, but I still had a good time. So that's my thoughts on This Is the End, and I will holler at you good people later. Peace.